Moving on, we also have something from Honorable Grace Ayensu Danquah. Now, if you would recall, during her vetting to be Deputy Health Minister, this whole issue of whether she was a full professor came up, and she says she responded by saying that she's a full professor. Over the weekend, we saw a letter from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission that she needs to cease addressing herself as a professor because according to them, they have done some investigations, and per their findings, she's not a full professor. She's an associate professor or an adjunct professor, yes. So she needs to stop misrepresenting herself and deceiving the public. Now she in a recent interview, she has addressed these allegations. So let's go take a listen, and then we can get back and continue the discussion.
How much letter, ma'am?
Why throw letter, ma'am?
Dabe.
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, what responded?
My respond. Lawyer put not respond on your marriage as an individual.
Okay.
Why be some questions in your 14 days? The one corner, one brain, one train. I da would the Gina da. What kind of means me? Letter now one watch on what the more be a or the become my chief of staff, or the become my minister, or the become
some of our letter in your day. Then I know what letter him. Content and then you
the tone. Okay. And a baby there like Ahuba, Yanada, Jamaico, Bibi, and now Maka Kansen be, and now Maka misrepresent Moon, Casanpo Mentasi. Dammy McKinkany, a moon, tone in the moon, the venom, vile, no, what I didn't. And I made a call my lawyer, the master me put the Malamuhuma Maya, Mendobia, Calmeo Biabon. I'm a professor of surgery, so I'm starting point. And I'm a campus or youth and point. I'm in a head global surgery department, but I prefer to be here to help my people. That is why I'm here. But in any case, I remember she said you want to and I social media and I troll. I'm so dad and I call my lawyer troll. And you never answer. Nachem do them procedure never do them procedure never. And the Danopa sorry I done social media content creator, say a social media influencer, say a blogger. Now it's all over social media. So my question is, as a state regulator, as many years was social media done now? As many years was social media done now? There, as a regulator, no, you even go through due process. So what I see is just an attempt to discredit the hard work I have done. I'm still trying to figure it out. And me pede me bisa GTEC no nabo jinapode mo pocho nanka so mfa ni CV ben fon compare me de.
How much?
Na wasuma real.
You know, I don't really know why we seem to be so fixated on titles, positions, and the likes on both sides of the coin. So for individuals, you know, people get to be given honorary doctorates and whatever titles, and then all of a sudden they have to change everything and start calling themselves doctor and whatnot. And then on the flip side, I don't know, it looks like what's the word? I don't know. Like if you look at GTEC, it's I'm not getting the word.
No, but you know, she's not the only one that in recent times she has had an issue with whether you're a doctor, whether you're a professor. Oh, recently, even the same GTEC, they also called out another politician to stop calling himself a doctor.
That's a computer, right?
Yes, exactly. Rashid Computer. Yeah. That he had not finished whatever it is that he was doing, so he didn't have the right to address himself as a doctor.
So that's the point I wanted to make, that I get the role that they are playing, right? But sometimes it looks like they're playing to the gallery. In getting to this, look like, you know, like let's deal with the individual. Let's get through to the end.
Exactly.
If we then have to issue a release or whatever, then maybe we do so. But sometimes
disclaimer for
sometimes like it's like we're jumping the gun, and that's my challenge there. That's why I said on both sides of the coin, individuals who seem so fixated using these titles, you know, they are businessmen who through their hard work they get recognized with some honorary doctorate. They get all of a sudden they are being called doctors. They are preachers who sometimes we don't even know where they get it from.
They start Reverend Doctor Evangelist,
Doctor, and so that's on one side. But on the side of the regulator as well, I feel like sometimes they are over enthusiastic, in how they want to deal with some of these things. But trust me, these titles don't do the work.
Exactly. It is the substance you are made of.
These titles don't do the work. You can have somebody actually working, doesn't even have a degree. There are people who don't even have degrees. That sort of stuff that they are doing.
Amazing stuff.
They're creating businesses, employing first-class degree holders. You understand? So we should tone down.
But with this particular case, I'm actually interested to see how it would end, because I watched another interview of hers where she was saying that the jurisdiction where she earned the title professor is different from how
that's
Ghana
the case. So
confer the title.
In the US, a lecturer in the university is referred to as a professor. Yeah, and so that is one. And then even the process that you go through to get to have a PhD, whatever, all those things are different when you compare different jurisdictions. And then even the use of the titles, as an associate professor, a full professor, and then go on to professor emeritus and whatnot, is also different. So I think that it's been played out in the public, which makes it difficult to get a resolution. Yeah,
that's why she's still adamant.
Everybody wants to show, like, I be professor. You be professor.
That's what I'm saying. I'm interested to see how it goes.
Because I was even wondering during her vetting.
Yeah.
When she submitted her CV, what was included in those documents?
Exactly.
Because if you have a degree, it will show there. If you have any other
certifications, whatever it is that are relevant,
so when we sort of spent so much time debating semantics of who a professor is in Ghana and in the US and wherever. I feel like it was a waste of time. If she had submitted a certificate to show that she was something that she was not, we can interrogate that, But if she is a lecturer in the US and she's called a professor, she's a professor. I mean, like, she comes to Ghana, people will still refer to her as such. If she's an associate professor, she's a professor. She might not be a full professor, but she's an associate professor. You understand? So
every professor.
I remember back in school. So associate professors usually they would indicate so on their
ASOProf.
There was the door
to
the office, right? So they were indicate. So there was one lecturer, I've forgotten the name of the lecturer. So I go, associate professor. The next day,
we printer to order though. He was just waiting for the confirmation letter.
Open temper, But like, again, that doesn't do the work.
We always concentrate on unnecessary things.
Yeah, she's a public officer. We should judge her by the work that she's doing,
the work she's been called to do.
The work that she does, we should judge her on that. And then some of these things, let's run it behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Let's run it behind the scenes. Let's not be too enthusiastic to go to town with.
Since it's your content creators,
and then she should also tone down as well, because the head of GTEC doesn't have to have your qualifications to occupy that position.
Exactly.
And so
her posturing is a bit
it's confrontational for both sides, I feel. For both sides, I feel. So they can tone down, and then we settle it.
We'll settle it back though. Bring your CV, I bring my CV. We'll see who is who. And then finally, rapper Sean Kingston has been sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison for his involvement in a $1 million fraud scheme. So if you'd recall, sometime in 2024, he was arrested along with his mother for, basically it was a wire fraud scheme. They stole luxury items such as watches, a 232-inch LED TV, a bulletproof Cadillac, Escalade, and also some furniture. Now, what they were doing is that you know, everybody knows who Sean Kingston is. Yeah. So they get to you, they tell you that, oh,
wait, so beautiful girl. Yeah. Everybody knows.
So they come to your store and they're like, oh yeah, you know me, I'm Sean Kingston, I'm a star. So if you give me your stuff, I can help you get high profile clients and then you know, those kind of conversations. You give the stuff to them, they take it away, and then eventually when they are paying you back, either they don't pay at all or they make a fake wire transfer. So that is what himself and his mom were doing until in 2024 when he was arrested while he was actually on his way to perform at a concert. And then now finally over the weekend the trial is over and he has been sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. His mom was also sentenced to 5 years in prison sometime in July.
You wonder why he would do so with all the money that he got, all the fame that he got and everything.
The excuse the lawyer gave is that he's somebody who came from a poor background and that affected him, so he's never been prudent with finances. And
so you get all the money and you waste it because you come from poor background, and then now you have to steal. It's quite a terrible end to a very exciting career. You know, I mean, he did so well.
Yeah, like back in the day, Sean Kingston, the way the guys were using his song.
His ski accident. Which sort of took him down a bit. But I don't know. He probably mismanaged his money.
Along the way.
Yeah, but he still wanted to enjoy the good life.
Kojo, you've tasted honey, and then now they are telling you that you have to go back to eating sugar.
But that's your doing. That's not my doing. You know, so you need to, and especially also tells you the sort of parenting that he had. You know, the mom, terrible mom.
Yeah, because how do you help yourself?
To be involved
and apparently
in
they even had some of the evidence that was presented in court were text messages between himself and his mom discussing how they were going to defraud the people.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he gets to spend 3.5 years
behind bars
for 1 million.
For 1 million, you think it's worth it?
I don't know. next time. Okay, but he's gonna do. You know, in the US, every year is 9 months.
9 months.
Yeah, so he's gonna do 18.
So he's gonna do like roughly 3 years.
No, he's gonna do less than
3 years.
Yeah, he's gonna do less than that. Maybe 2 years.
But usually.
Okay, so 9, 3, that'll be 27. Yeah, something like that.
I won't even venture because my math is terrible. But then I was just saying that, like, usually when issues like these happen, I'm just wondering, like, the how do I put it, the role of management in all of these things, because sometimes you see, like, there's a star, the person is so huge, and then the next time you're hearing about the person is involved in all kinds of vices, and then it's just like from from grace to grass, rather.
Sometimes they don't listen. Sometimes they don't listen
because they feel they're on top of the world.
Sometimes they don't have good management, but sometimes they don't listen. You know, so yeah, like you the way you're spending your money, you have financial advisors. Sometimes you also have terrible advice as well. Sometimes they put money in bad investments. You know, sometimes they put it in luxury lifestyle, and so they lose money, and now they get into other stuff, you know. So this would not be down to management. I don't know if the mom was part of his management, you know, but yeah, it's a sad end to his very wonderful career. Yeah, very sad end. Yeah. But maybe when he comes out, he would have learned a thing or two, and so he would be different.
Okay, well, hopefully. So that wraps it up for Trends today.
Okay.